I think the topic, it's a very, very important topic, the future of work. And ICT Academy has been taking a very pioneering role in organizing such programs on this very important topic. So I request them to keep it up, and my congratulations again. I think the future of work has really become a buzzword since 2016. It's because of the World Economic Forum's report on the future of jobs. So here I find a lot of teachers here and some industry representatives here. So the topic that's being discussed today for the whole day, I think most of them would be really apprehensive, like what is going to happen to our jobs. Definitely the exponential technology, the speakers who spoke before me, they all spoke so many things about the technology and the importance of technology and the exponential way in which it is growing. So in my opinion, this future of works is going to be an interplay between three important factors. One is, of course, the exponential technologies. The second one is the globalization. And the third one is the demographic dividend, especially in India we have. So because of these three factors, the future of jobs is definitely going to make definitely a change. The recent study says like in another 5 years or so, the job landscape is going to have a change in such a way that the existing jobs are definitely going to remain in almost 54%, and 37% of the jobs would require definitely skill upgradation. Otherwise, the employee cannot remain in that job. He has to upgrade himself. And 9% jobs are going to be really totally new jobs. So this is the kind of job landscape which is expected in 5 years or so. So it's going to be a major challenge, and as the speakers before me were mentioning, like you can't stop the technology from coming in. Technology is not a new thing. The technology has been there since beginning. The IT secretary was rightly mentioning about the banking sector example. So the ATMs came almost 40 years before. So before that, we were all depending upon the banking teller system. I remember when I was a student, so we used to go and stand in the queue. I'm definitely 40 year plus, everyone will be knowing. But the millennials, definitely they will not be knowing what exactly is a banking teller. So, but just because of the introduction of ATMs in the banks, so the employability in the banks has not gone down, but it has gone up only. So technology has always been there, but the exponential technologies which we are seeing now, it's a new thing, and especially since last few years, and it is going to see a rapid progress in the coming years. So now, based on this context, I will be speaking only on two things. Because of the paucity of time also, as the chair decided, I will speak only on two things. One is, both are about the HR aspects. I will be talking more about the human nature, not much on the technology side. One is about the Hrd initiatives, basically what exactly we are doing. Because it has always been a difficult task to find a balance between focusing on excellence and equal access. Whether to create more IITs and IIMs or to provide education to all. This has always been a challenge. Now, thanks to the digital initiatives, thanks to technology, we are in a position to find a good balance between these two. Similarly, employability in the higher education sector is a major challenge which we are facing now. And the fourth point is the expansion which is required in the higher education system. So that is also a key thing, because now the GER, the gross enrollment ratio in the higher education, is around 25%. This is also not a uniform thing pan-India. In Chandigarh, this is almost 58%, whereas in Bihar it is 14%. And the task we have set for ourselves is to increase it to at least 30%, from around 25% to 30% by 2020. It's a huge task. For that, we need to establish immediately 15,000 institutions. It is just not a possibility. It is just impossible to create 15,000 more institutions immediately. So we need to have a mix of both brick and mortar model and the digital technologies. So now the digital initiatives are coming in a big way. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy was mentioning about certain things about that. As a mission director of the National Mission on Education through ICT, I would like to mention few things on that. See, the technology is not going to replace the teachers. First of all, I would like to make it very clear because it's a large chunk of teachers. I am facing worried faces. So, the smart classrooms are not going to replace the teachers. In fact, the Honorable Minister has just constituted a committee, expert committee on the Operation Digital Board. And many decades before we had Operation Blackboard. Now we are thinking of Operation Digital Board. So does it mean like the digital board is going to just, replace the teachers? No. This expert committee has 10 members, including myself and Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy. So we are going to finalize the strategy maybe in the coming 2 months or so. So definitely the technology is not going to replace the flesh and blood model of education. Because the automation, because of the technology, can replace so many things which are routine things. But teaching is such a thing where the human element is really very much involved. The face-to-face interaction, the human element, the thought process, the empathy, communication. So those things are the key things in teaching. So definitely it is just not going to replace that. But as someone was mentioning earlier, the teachers need to augment themselves with the technology. That is really what is required. Now let me come with some initiatives which we are taking. Like number one is the Swayam portal we have created. Government of India has come up with the Swayam portal. So that is basically where it's India's own MOOCs model, massive open online courses. So now these courses are not simple online content, but these courses basically are a very interactive sessions. And NPTEL is very important part of it. NPTEL is the brainchild of IIT Madras. So NPTEL is very much important part of those MOOCs courses. So these MOOCs courses are interactive sessions. There will be a course coordinator. There will be a discussion forum. And now the ministry has allowed and asked the UGC and AICT to allow up to 20% of the courses to be done through Swayam portal. So up to 20% of the courses can be done not by sitting in the classroom but through this digital mode. See, we need to increase the gross enrollment ratio, number one. We can't keep building institutions. The number of teachers also is limited. So we need to use technology in such a manner so that our higher education system can be improved, our rankings can be improved. So that's the way we are going ahead. And some more digital initiatives, some more initiatives of MHRD, which includes industry and the research area also. That is like imprint. And the another scheme is Uchatar Avishkar Yojana. So these are basically to do some kind of serious research in socially relevant fields and the areas which are being thrown up by the industry. And the third one is the recent budget announcement, that is the Prime Minister's Research Fellowship. 1,000 BTech students would be allowed to do 5-year direct PhD with a full scholarship. So this is basically to improve the research area which is really required. Because, in case of patents, I think India has almost 40 patents a million population. Whereas the South Korea is having 2,000 plus. Even China is having around 400. And we are just 40. So to improve that, these kind of some initiatives are being taken. And the second important thing I wanted to focus is always a question of man versus machine. So I just want to stress upon one thing which Martin Luther King long back told, but I still feel it is very much relevant even today. So he said, we have more guided missiles, but unguided people. So similarly, we have more upgraded and trained machines, but people with less values and morals. So I think this is very important point when we are talking about exponential technology, what is going to happen to the future. Instead of worrying about the technology is going to come. It has already come. It is going to come in more numbers and with more vigor. So we need to really focus on what we should be doing with our human element. So when we are remembering the Moore's law, which I'm not a technical person, pardon me if I'm wrong. So the Moore's law is basically the Gordon Moore said the silicon chip's power will increase, it will double basically once in 18 months. So that is how the supercomputers have come up. So but at the same time, when we remember about the Gordon Moore, I would like to remember Peter Drucker. He is the father of modern management. So what he said is also very, very relevant. So we are not here to breed a race of superhuman. It is not possible. The people are going to be the same people. So we need to upgrade their skills to manage the supercomputers, the technology, the exponential technology. So that is the key element where somehow we need to really focus both by industry and also by the higher education system. In higher education system, the employability has to be there. And also now we are focusing on education 4.0 to realign with industry 4.0. So what exactly is education 4.0? It is not like the earlier models of just receiving the knowledge. And just receiving the content. As somebody was mentioning, now that more than the teachers, the students will have more information because he is more well-versed with LinkedIn, with Google, with Facebook, WhatsApp and other things. But the teachers are not. That is the same case with me and with my son. So now what is important is basically we need to, that information is already there. So it is not important like what is being taught. It is equally important like the way it is being taught. There comes the technology. So there we have to use the technology in such a way like we need to really take we really need to have that kind of teaching methods which is more aligned with the students' needs and also the industry needs. It should be aligned with the industry needs also. It should not be just giving knowledge, as Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy was saying, like, it is not like a simple, so many hours of lectures being listened. No. It should be the actual knowledge gain, which is really useful for him to, when you go out of the college, he should be employable. So this is one thing I really wanted to say, and I would like to, complete by saying the 3 boxes theory of dig balls. So in the past, the 3 boxes used to be study, work, and retire. This is no more relevant now and in the coming days. So now it will be like learn, work, and learn throughout. There is no retirement and there is no stop to learning. It is what is required today is the lifelong learning. So the technology is not going to replace the human, especially the teachers, but what is really required is the augmented workforce. That is what is required in my opinion. So as I strongly believe the best way to predict the future is to create it. So maybe the conference or the forum like this will help all of us in understanding the importance of the changing job landscape and preparing ourselves for that. Thank you very much.